This is English shorthand dictation number 362 and the dictation speed is 120 words per minute. Ready? Start. Postal services come under the Union list of the Constitution. The Indian Post Office Act 1898 regulates the postal services offered by the central government. It grants the central government exclusive privilege over conveying of letters. Postal services are offered through India Post, a departmental undertaking. On certain previous occasions, significant amendments to the 1898 Act were proposed. However, they did not come into force. A bill passed by Parliament in 1986 sought to align the grounds for interception of an article being transmitted through post with the reasonable restrictions on the fundamental rights under the Constitution. The bill did not receive the assent of the President and was later withdrawn. A bill was introduced and referred to a standing committee in 2002, which included amendments to regulate private courier services under the Act. The bill eventually lapsed. In 2006 and 2011, draft bills were released, which also proposed amendments to regulate private courier services under the Act. However, the corresponding bills were not introduced in Parliament. In 2017, the Act was amended to delegate the power to decide tariffs to the central government. Earlier, this power rested with Parliament. Recently, the Jan Vishwas Amendment of Provisions Act 2023 removed all offences and penalties under the Act. In August 2023, the Post Office Bill 2023 was introduced in Rajya Sabha. It replaces the 1898 Act and aims to simplify the legislative framework to facilitate evolution of India Post into a citizen-centric network. The Act provides that wherever the central government establishes posts, it will have the exclusive privilege of conveying letters by post, as well as incidental services such as receiving, collecting, sending, and delivering letters. The bill does not provide for such privileges. The Act provides for the issuance of postage stamps as per the prescribed rules. The bill also states that India Post will have the exclusive privilege over issuing postage stamps. The Act specifies the services provided by India Post to include delivery of postal articles, including letters, postcards, and parcels, and money orders. The bill provides that India Post will provide services as may be prescribed by the central government. The Act, as well as the bill, provides for the appointment of the Director General of Postal Services. Under the Act, the Director General has powers to decide the time and manner of delivery of postal services. The bill provides that the Director General may make regulations regarding any activity necessary to provide postal services. He may also make regulations regarding charges for services and supply and sale of postage stamps and postal stationery. The Act allows interception of an article being transmitted through post on certain grounds. An interception may be carried out on the occurrence of any public emergency or in the interest of public safety or tranquility. Such interceptions may be carried out by the central government, state governments, or any officer specially authorized by them. An intercepted shipment can be detained or disposed of by the officer in charge. The officer also has powers to open, detain, or destroy shipments carrying items prohibited under the Act or any other law. The bill instead provides that interception of an article being transmitted through post may be carried out on the grounds of security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, emergency, public safety, or contravention of the provisions of the bill or any other laws. An officer empowered by the central government through a notification may carry out interception. Under the Act, an officer in charge may examine a postal article if he suspects that it contains goods which are prohibited or are liable to be paid duty upon. The bill removes the powers of examination. It instead provides that in such cases, the central government may empower an officer of India Post to deliver the postal article to the customs authority or any other specified authority. The authority will then deal with the item in question. The Act exempts the government from any liability related to the loss, wrong delivery, delay, or damage to a postal article. This does not apply where the liability is undertaken by the central government in express terms. Officers are also exempt from such liability unless they have acted fraudulently or willfully. The bill retains these exemptions. It also provides that the central government may prescribe liability with regard to services by India Post under the rules. The Act specified various offences and penalties, all of which were removed by the Jan Vishwas Amendment of Provisions Act 2023. For instance, theft, misappropriation, or destruction of postal articles by an officer of the post office was punishable with imprisonment up to 7 years and a fine. Sending certain prohibited items through post was punishable with imprisonment up to 1 year, a fine, or both. The bill does not provide for any offences or consequences except one. Amounts not paid by a user will be recoverable as arrears of land revenue. Currently, there are distinct frameworks for regulation of similar postal services by public and private sectors. The Indian Post Office Act 1898 establishes monopoly of the central government over conveying letters. Private courier services are currently not regulated under any specific legislation. This leads to certain key differences. For instance, the 1898 Act provides a framework for interception of articles transmitted through India Post. There is no such provision for private courier services. Another key difference is in the application of the Consumer Protection Framework. The 1898 Act exempts the government from liability for any lapses in the services except where such liability is undertaken in express terms. The Consumer Protection Act 2019 does not apply to services by India Post, but it applies to private courier services. The Post Office Bill 2023, seeking to replace the 1898 Act, retains these provisions.